Hey guys, what's going on? Jake here, and welcome back to EAFC24. Today is, I wasn't expecting to really be talking about this, but it kind of hit me before I started editing this that Bajcetic hasn't played a game on the RTG in a long time. Now, this footage, by the way, covers from last Thursday. It covers FUT Champs games, it covers a few rivals and stuff like that, and SBCs done, and objectives completed. So this is an absolute long haul. By the way, my vibrations are on, so you might be able to hear that. So you know what? We'll actually flick that off right now. So from our red picks we get Jonathan Tah. He's a beast, by the way. Probably my third best centre back now. But we'll talk more about that later. But we need to talk about this Bajcetic thing, and the problem is that he only has one playstyle plus. He's got awful stats, but he's 91 rated. And I don't think EA will give me an evolution for my Bajcetic for a long time. And he's not going to play. He's not playing in my team. Because I already struggle as much as it is. Let alone with an awful card like Bajcetic, unfortunately, in there. It would just make things even worse. And I will produce even worse results. Also, at the same time, I like having fun on this game. And having fun players in the team, that's fun. But Bajcetic being this bad at this stage of the game makes the game not really fun. It just makes it painful to play the game because he's the liability. You don't trust him with the ball, and it's a shame really because he's played so many games for the club now, and I don't even think I'd risk bringing him on in a game. If I brought him on in a game, I'd just be nervous that he would throw results away from me, but not be able to put in proper challenges and things like that. And it would just be rather annoying as we go ahead and pack ourselves, by the way, from Rivals Rewards, an 85x7 pack. Obviously not on tots because these are awful. But we do get ourselves a David Ginola, who is 70k, but, it's still David bloody Ginola. So, to be honest with you guys, I'd just like to say that until there's another Evo for Bajcetic, and if there is, he'll be straight into it. Bajcetic will not be being used on the account for the foreseeable future. And you know what? I will even make a vow that he will come on in games if that is what will appease you guys. But for now, I don't think I'm going to keep calling it Bajcetic's Boys. I might, but at the same time, I also could just call it Bajcetic's Boys and not play him. But then that feels like, I'm selling you guys a dream a bit. Or alternatively, I just call it an RTG because that's essentially what we're doing here now. It's just an RTG. So, yeah. And then moving on to other things, I wanted to talk about this game in general because obviously my team name is now Boycott EA. I'm all for this boycott because the thing is, guys, people go, this game's awful. We should all stop playing. This game, outside of the bugs, is good. Playstyles are amazing. Evolutions are amazing. The gameplay itself, especially on old gen at least, isn't that bad until you get to the bugs. If you've got worse players, and I was speaking to someone about this the other day, if you've got worse players, no matter how good you are at this game, you're still going to lose because especially when your opponents have got the best players in the game, they just get extra luck, and it's just how it is. It's just because they're the best cards in the game, they'll get extra bounces go their way, they'll get rebounds go their way. And a lot of the time, especially for me playing in the Elite Division, I've got half decent cards close to the best cards, and then when I'm playing the best cards every game, it's just I'll make a tackle, it'll bounce straight back to them. Anticipate won't do anything. It's against some of these cards that are unbelievable. If I had, let's say, my Maldini, he doesn't have Anticipate. If that Maldini had Anticipate, he'd win the ball every time. He'd be the best centre-back on the game. He'd be like a 10 mil coin card. But he's just missing Anticipate. He's a good card, but he just lacks the perfect playstyle. Or for a player like Tah, he's not close enough to being the best card in the game. So although he does have Anticipate, a lot of the time the ball will just bounce off him, or a player will just bounce off him because he's not up to scratch. And it's really disappointing because I like my players, I like my team, but when it comes to playing rivals, especially up against the best teams and the best players every game, I'll be playing a guy and I'll be like, right, this is quite an evenly matched game, but his team's 10 times better than me, he'll win. And I'll just I just know it at this point. It is what it is. But then you'll go into a game of champs and a guy will have a better team than you, and I'll beat him because at the end of the day, you need both a decent level of skill and a decent team to be good at this game. If you have a unbelievable team but you're not that good, you can get all the jam in the world. You'll still concede a load of goals, but it's just annoying. Like, that part especially is annoying. And then obviously there's the other glitches, like obviously there's the intercepts that are issues, the rebounds off keepers that are issues, and the rebounds from tackles that are issues. But then there's also things such as flick up bicycle kicks and corners being super overpowered that need to be addressed. Other than that, this game's good. If EA were to give us a hot fix that, got rid of them flick up bicycle kicks, that nerfed the corners and stuff like that, all of a sudden, the game's a lot worse for me specifically against good players, especially in the Elite Division, because now I don't have a way to score. But my opponents still do, because they'll just bounce through my players still. But if EA were to bring that hotfix along with a thing that kind of took the jam away from the best cards, because EA want the best cards to be the best, and having jam makes those cards the best and makes people want them, which is why then people will spend money to try get them, because they have that extra advantage, and it's stupidly obvious that they give you an advantage. So that's why EA and their method is make the best cards as broken as possible, make it so you can't stop them, so people will spend money to get them. And it's a shame. It really is a shame that that's what we have to do. But, even a card like Sorloth is a rare example of a card that everyone that can get that is super broken, and he bounces through players purely because he's just so big and so quick, and he's a brilliant finisher. He's the best example on this game of a card that everyone can get that is one of those broken cards, but he shouldn't be. So at the end of the day, I'm buzzing with that. Like, I love Sorloth. He's so good. But then, it's just a shame that we can't have other cards like that, and every card isn't like that. So, like, your big physical strikers are always like that, because some of them are just clunky as anything. Like, I've not used Hosselu yet, but Hosselu could be awful, whereas Sorloth, even though that's a similar player, could be absolutely incredible. But yeah, moving on from the talk about the game in general, because I think this game, for me, I still think it's better than FIFA 21 and 22. A lot of people look back on it with nostalgia, and they say, absolutely incredible games. But it's like, no, they're not good at all. I don't remember what it is I hated about 21 and 22, but I just remember hating them with a passion. So I will never put them high up, because me playing them at the time hated them, and I never really played them because I hated them. So I'd say it's them. And then FIFA 23 is slightly better than FC24 still, mainly because in last FIFA, we had absolutely unbelievable content, boys. Like, the content we were getting last FIFA was actually really good. This FIFA, we've had promos where cards are either 1 million coins or 20k discard, and nowhere in between. So it's like, you've either got to get super lucky or you just don't get the best players. And yeah, this game has been bad and worse than FIFA 23 because we've leaned even more into store packs and things like that, which is obviously the boycott. The boycott is stop spending your money on this shit game. And then we've also had other issues of, the mess ups from EA, which is again another content issue. And then also just the glitches in the game. And then also, those are the things that I've been talking about mainly. The glitches in the game, and then also the content's been quite bad with the mistakes and things like that. So it is what it is. You can't have it all your way on this game. And to be honest with you, besides the content issues and besides the glitches and things like that, this game is actually not too bad. We've had some decent stuff. We've had evolutions. We've had okay stuff every now and again. But yeah, that's kind of like my opinion now done. I just honestly think if EA were to make a hotfix nerfing corners and bicycle kicks and then making it so when you actually tackle a player, you win the ball, I think if EA did that, we're in the money all of a sudden. And then even their content mistakes, it's like, yes, they're doing it to make money with their mistakes and things like that, but the gameplay is at least good, so I'd happily just sit there and play the game. Whereas right now, playing the game's a bit of a dread. I like it more and more now that I'm playing it more and stuff, but it's a bit of a dread. And then at the same time, the content's also bad, so you can't really sit in the menus and grind the menus and stuff, other than that crafting upgrade thing, which, we're going to have, I think, wait, did we do that last episode? I don't know, I think we did it last episode, but that was unbelievable. That is so much fun. I love it, just that grind. But yeah, now that I've had that rant, now that I've kind of summed it up and everything, I can now just kind of get back to the actual gameplay. So we are approaching the end of our champs run here after just scoring an incredible kickoff goal with Sorloth. We are now done with champs. And in the end, guys, I went from being 3-3 on Friday night to going 11-5. I think it was 11-5 because I was 10-4. I went 1-0 down to someone with a really good team who was half decent. I just left. I probably could have maybe got a win out of that, but it's just like when I'm going for 11, I don't care. Just get it over and done with as quick as possible. So, yeah, at the end of the day, 11-5, decent little result in the end, and we can just move on with our lives and open up these red picks because I played against someone in Elite Division Rivals, actually, and he had red Ozymen and red Giroud, and he got 11 wins. So let's see what I can get from 11 wins. Comparatively. So, are you ready, guys? Comparatively, I get Ferguson, who is awful. The other two are like 20k, and he's about 50. And then I get Pellegrini, and Sommer's the goalkeeper, and Smalling's about 50k. So, at the end of the day, guys, I got shafted, and some guy who's in Elite Division and already has an unreal squad got Giroud and Ozymen. So, yep, brilliant. Cheers, EA. Thanks for that. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I got screwed again. Doesn't make me not want to play champs, but again, if you don't play champs, you just fall behind so quickly. You know, if I'd have played every champs and had awful pat luck, I feel like I'd still be closer with my team level, but, you know, I'm just desperately waiting for this Bajcetic Evo, guys. It's going to come eventually, I'm telling you. We will get one eventually, and Bajcetics Boys will be back. I will call this episode Bajcetics Boys, but I will try and think of something to change the kind of title to next episode, whether we just now go into me doing like player reviews and titles of videos, but I still number them to keep it in the RTG like numbering. But I just, you know, title videos I played foot champs with ... and then I just list some new players, cool players that I'm trying out, or Elite Division Rivals gameplay in the new formation, and I just do that, but I just put a little episode thing in the top right or something. So maybe we do that. Maybe that'll be the better strategy. And also that could mean we do like 10-minute videos and things of me just doing like a playthrough of Elite Division Rivals. Every win I get, I clip the goals, or I just show the replays of the goals and I put them in a video, and then I give a review on a player, or I give a review on a team. Something like that. That could be quite fun. But yeah, so far champs rewards have been absolutely shocking, and we've been screwed again. So was it to be expected? Yes, but, you know, it is what it is. I do wish that, you know, my team was a little bit better, because then I just comfortably get 14 every week. You know, I comfortably get 11. I was 3-3 and I went to 11-5. I comfortably get 11 wins every week. But it's just, you know, pushing for 14 requires a little bit of sweat. Going for 16 would require me to be on the top of my game, especially with this team. It's just, if I had that little bit better team, if I had the Fekir, if I had the Ozymens, the Girouds, the Kvaratskhelia, if I had those cards that get that look, I could probably comfortably get 14, put a little bit of effort in and get 16, sweat me nuts off and get 18 or 19. Maybe. But I'd love to just be at the level where I can just get 14 wins every week and go, yeah, right, so 14-3. Nice. Do I give the rest of my wins away? Do I maybe push for 16? I'd love to be in that sort of position. But yeah, Lookman, he's in the club now. We did use him in a bit of Rivals gameplay, which is never going to surface the earth, I don't think. But yeah, in the end, he's there. And then this card, by the way, guys, this card is what evolutions are about. If we could get an evolution of this level for Bajcetic, we've got one for Barini, 5-star, 3-star. 3-star weak foot's the only bad thing, but he's got pinged, he's got finesse, Trivela plus, technical plus, tiki-taka plus. He's going to play Cam with that maxed out passing, real shooting, nice dribbling, and he's got decent physicals as well, really good stamina, and with a Hunter, that card is absolutely unbelievable. For 100k, that card is worth it. One of the only paid Evos that has been worth it during Tarts. So yeah, I then decided, hey, let's finish the season and let's go through and do absolutely every objective to ever exist in the Cup. So I spent, I think, about 3 or 4 hours getting... It was about an hour per league, other than Ligue 1, which I just won all 6 games in a row. So yeah, it was worked out to be a little under an hour per Cup. So about 3 hours and a half to do all of the cups for these leagues. We didn't finish off the Bundesliga one because we didn't actually have to, and the only thing you get is a Kim Min-jae and XP, but we already got the TOTS pack, and we were already level 40, so I decided not to finish it off, and that was the most painful one as well, the Bundesliga one. That one was so bad. But yeah. Even the cup where people are meant to be using fun players to enjoy themselves, they would sub on Jairzinho and all of these meta players that, to be honest with you, you're just a little weasel. You're meant to be playing with a full league team and trying out different players than you'd normally do. But people are just subbing on their main team or their overpowered Evo glitches from the start of the year that they don't use anymore. And it's just like brilliant, because some guy brought on Jairzinho, Armstrong. Like, you know, if I did it, I could bring on what? Peter Crouch, unbelievable. I could bring on Ben Woodburn, unbelievable. I could bring on Armstrong. I could bring on loads of players. I could bring on Ginola. But I don't. I just use the team. So, you know, because I'm not a little weirdo. So if you do that, you need to grow up, honestly. Just play with the actual team and don't be a little weirdo. It's not my fault you've got a goal team because you don't have sentiment for cards, or you just go, oh, I'm not going to complete this card because I don't want it. Mate, if a card's cheap enough, you do it, don't you? You know? It's just one of those, like, I'm one of those people that if a card's cheap enough and he looks all right and I can get some links to him, I'll put him in a team for a little. I'll do him, put him in a team for a little bit, give him an honest review, and that's how I've found some of my gems in the past. And that's how I've found some of my gems this year. And, you know, most of my Evos this year have been sentimental, but, you know, by the way, I'm glad I didn't take that Carlos Alberto because I was genuinely considering it to play him centre-back, but we instead are going to get a better centre-back later in the video, or two better centre-backs later in the video. But yeah, here we are now looking at some highlights, just opening our squad battles rewards, which were the two red things because I didn't actually play that many games. And we get Walker Peters and this goalkeeper woman, Gallardo, whatever her name is, from Atletico Madrid Femenine. Gallardo, I think it was. And yeah, so we then had a lot of good packs from doing all of these cups and things. And, you know, we're going to open them all at once. But the first thing we're going to pack is Ismaila Benassa's Team of the Season card. Unfortunately, not a double tots, but Benassa, good fodder, we'll take it. Very, very nice indeed. We then go ahead and submit a couple of squads here. This one is just purely gold fodder items, you know, is what it is kind of thing. Nice. And then we submit an 87 rated squad an 86 rated squad with Sugawara. And then just again some random fodder cards. And by completing this final SPT, which I think is an 87 rated squad, we go ahead and we are going to get ourselves, just let me put in these players, put in an Eterlan duplicate, I think that is there from a TOTS pack. One of the guaranteed TOTS packs we're doing the cup. We are going to get ourselves someone who last year was very, very fun, because last year, guys, during Foot Birthday, a 5-star skill moves lanky striker came out called Hosselu. And he's got a showdown now, and I absolutely love Hosselu as in real life, and I also love him on FIFA. So we're going to get him in over Sorloth for a little bit, probably during the Rivals gameplay this week before Champs, and we're just going to use Hosselu, and we're going to see how he plays. But hopefully he's very good. If he's not very good, I would be a bit disappointed, but, you know, is what it is. Because then we complete half of Bino Gittins. We still haven't finished Bino Gittins, by the way. We need to finish him off with Rivals rewards on Thursday. We're just chucking in a couple of objective cards we got for free. And then back into the actual pack. So, we're going to open up an 85 by 10. No, yep, 85 by 10. No, but these are the packs we have left, by the way. Like, look at that. It's ridiculous. 85 by 10 surely going to be opened first. It is. We're going to get ourselves, obviously, a blue, as you'd expect. Italian centre-back. So, it's going to be California Love. And it's a double top. So, you never know. Could be something decent in here. You know, I'd love someone good, but probably not going to get anyone good because we don't. We are actually going to get a female. We're going to get Williams, and she isn't very good. Well, she's all right. She'd probably do a job on for a pro player. But then we also get some dupes there as well. I'm not going to show you what I recycle these cards into straight away and things like that, but you know, you'll see eventually once we start submitting the squad. So there was the 87 by 4 and the 88 by 3. And then we opened an 87 by 5, that is. And we get ourselves another 3 TOTS cards. And then from our final pack, the 85 by 20, you'd expect it to be big. It's going to be a Team of the Season Moments French centre mid. It's going to be a Rabiot. And then it's going to be a double TOTS. So I was expecting like 92 plus. But obviously you can just get any TOTS card behind it. And we get Puertas. So in the end, after getting ourselves a very, very decent, you know, packs beforehand, we get 3 TOTS and our 85 by 20. But at the end of the day, we've got SPCs to do, guys. So once you see this player, it's all going to be worth it. Getting rid of Kaka, we've got red Nico Williams. I'm never going to use Savio, Van Nistelrooy, and some gold fodder there. But that Kaka, he was awful for me. I'm glad he's going. 90 rated squad, done. Let's see if you can guess the cards we go through. France squad now, fodder, and an 88 rated duplicate Tots Puertas. And that squad was done. And then we complete this squad using the Martinelli we never finished because I got about 5 other left wingers in the same week. And then we get rid of that Rabiot and we get rid of Puyol. We've never really used Puyol. Even when I've needed him for links, I've still not opted to use him. Same with this squad as well, just more fodder players and Unai Simon. This squad had a few more players there. We had to get rid of Stoichkov, Beckham. Beckham we've used a little bit, but he's not good. Stoichkov we've never used, but his base here icon is still in the club. And then Danjuma and Watkins. Watkins was good, but he's just fodder, and same with Danjuma. And in the end, once we submit that squad, we are going to get ourselves, listen to this, boys, a brand new centre-back and or right-back. It is going to be Jules Koundé's Tots card. Now, my mate is very good at FIFA. He's much better than me, and he says to me that this card is absolutely amazing at centre-back for him. He doesn't have Anticipate or Aerial and is 5'11", but he loves him. But to be fair, you don't see many people in Champs abusing the crossing meta, so unless I play way back, I should be alright. But here we go. This card looks absolutely brilliant. And, well, I am going to pack another centre-back later on in the video, so this card actually will probably end up playing right-back for me. So, yeah, this was the team I had planned out. Barini, once we evo him in the team, obviously we have a different team to use when we use Hosselu. That team's already planned out and ready to use. But this is the team. It looks very, very nice. Berardi, we try him out, but people always say he's got fake stats, so I was a little bit reluctant. So when I packed this icon, Laurent Blanc, who is 6'4" with Anticipate and Aerial Plus, he's worth like 380k with a 5-star weak foot. Imagine that card and Maldini at centre-back. I know Blanc isn't fast, but he should just be one of those cards who has unbelievable aura from just his base card at the start of the year, icon, and now moving into this. And this was the team we are going to end up considering. Bino, Gittins, Barini, all we need, I think, is like one link in there somewhere. So if any of you guys can suggest it, we still have the manager slot available as well. Let me know. But thank you for watching. If you've got anything to add on what I've said this video and any suggestions, especially with regards to Bajcetic, let me know, and I'll see you all next time.